After Dad remarried, my sister discovered a secret in Mom's diary. After Dad remarried, my sister, Lily, found Mom's diary and learned that our maternal grandmother's family was incredibly wealthy. Longing for a life of luxury, she chose to go with Grandma Tao. But Grandma Tao only taught her how to tend flowers, weave bracelets from plants, and study diligently. Lily never had the chance to appear in public. I, on the other hand, stayed with the Mock family and grew up under the tutelage of my stepmother, Evelyn, becoming the celebrated jewel of the family. Everything changed when Lily returned home after college and discovered I was about to study abroad with Liam, the scion of a financial empire. We even planned to marry upon our return. Lily went mad and killed me. Then, we both reincarnated, returning to the moment we had to choose between Grandma Tao and Dad. This time, Lily hid behind Dad, declaring she didn't want to go with Grandma Tao, she wanted to stay with Evelyn. I, however, clutched Grandma Tao's sleeve, refusing to let go. In my previous life, I had endured enough of being used as a commodity, waiting to be married off. After Mom passed away, she left behind 2 daughters, my sister Lily and me, Anna. Dad quickly remarried, pouring all his attention into Evelyn and their unborn child. That's when Grandma Tao, whom I'd never met, suddenly appeared, saying she wanted to take my sister and me in. Dad stammered. When I married my wife, she told me she was an orphan. We've lived together for so many years, and I've never met you. Now you suddenly appear, wanting to take both children, but they are still my daughters. Even though I've remarried, I can't bear to let them leave completely. If you insist on taking one, then let them choose. No sooner had he spoken than Lily ran to Evelyn, hugging her tightly, sweetly calling out, "Mom!" She gently supported Evelyn's arm, saying, "Mom, you must be tired from standing so long. Let me help you." Then she softly promised, "I will always love and take care of my little brother from now on." Dad was stunned. Before, when he decided to marry Evelyn, Lily was the fiercest opponent. Back then, Dad was caught between his deceased wife, his rebellious daughter, and his pregnant new wife, suffering immense headaches. Yet now, she was actively befriending Evelyn, even cleverly mentioning that the baby in her womb was a boy. Dad, already biased towards Lily, was naturally overjoyed to see her voluntarily stay. Lily took Evelyn's hand, turned to me, and loudly admonished, "Anna, you must take good care of Grandma Tao, okay?" As I packed my bags to leave with Grandma Tao, Lily sneered at me. "This life, you can taste what it's like to be a country bumpkin." I knew why my sister was so smug. In her previous life, she had read Mom's diary, which stated that our maternal grandmother's family held a status no less prominent than the Mock family. Desiring a rich life free from a stepmother's torment, when forced to choose between Dad and Grandma Tao, she didn't hesitate to take Grandma Tao's hand and leave. She thought she had made the right choice, but upon returning to Grandma Tao's house, she was dismayed to discover the truth. Grandma Tao lived in an ordinary town in a simple self-built house. The small town was peaceful, with beautiful scenery, but there were no bustling young people. Grandma Tao's only income came from growing flowers and medicinal herbs, waiting for city folk to buy them. If the harvest failed that year, and no one bought them, there would be no money. Lily was strictly disciplined by Grandma Tao, with no pampering and no beautiful clothes. At dawn, she had to wake up, eat breakfast, then walk or take the bus to public school. After school, she couldn't rest. She had to finish all her homework, then practice calligraphy to calm her mind. On weekends, she had to go to the flower garden to care for medicinal herbs and flowers. There were no recreational activities whatsoever. Lily felt her life was worse than death. She longed for a butler, servants, a luxurious mansion, a life of comfort where food was served and drinks poured. She wanted a private driver to take her to school, branded clothes, and high-end jewelry. I, who stayed with the Mock family, had all those things, even more than she could have imagined. While my sister wore cheap, unbranded clothes made by the town's seamstresses, I was shopping with Evelyn, spending money freely on seasonal designer clothes and high-end jewelry. I had it all. When Lily was a teenager, with a dirty face and messy hair, with no one to guide her on how to dress, Evelyn took me to beauty treatments and fitness regimens, making me flawless from head to toe. Lily once said that I was the radiant glory of the Mock family, while she was just a forgotten daughter, cast out of everyone's sight. Before I turned 16, many prestigious families actively approached the Mock family, seeking an alliance through marriage. Under Evelyn's skillful hands, I, like an exquisite doll, shown at important events, becoming the face of the Mock family and the only recognized young Miss My Sister, Lily, liked Liam, the financial magnate's heir. She once knelt outside Dad's study, begging him to introduce her to him, but Dad flatly refused. She cried, asking me, "I'm also a Mock daughter, why don't I have the right?" Evelyn, holding my younger brother, covered her mouth and sneered. Look at her, raised by Grandma Tao until she reeked of poverty. Horse riding, ballet, piano, business etiquette, she knows nothing. What right does she have to dream? Grandma Tao adamantly took her back home, forcing her to focus on her university entrance exams. Until the results were out, she wasn't allowed to return to the Mock family, not even once. Furious, Lily took Mom's diary to confront Grandma Tao. But Grandma Tao immediately snatched it, burning it to ashes right in front of her, only saying, "Put your mind to the right path." As Lily returned to the town to study for her university exams, I was shining at my coming-of-age ceremony. Evelyn, originally a dance teacher, had sculpted my waist to be more supple than a spring willow branch. Under the dazzling crystal lights, I gracefully twirled, soaring like a swan, captivating countless young men's hearts. Afterwards, whispers began to spread about the Mock family's jewel. On the day of the university exam results, Lily eagerly returned with her score report, intending to share the good news. But she accidentally discovered that Liam, her secret crush, and I had planned to study abroad together and would marry upon our return. At that moment, Evelyn and Liam's mother were discussing the study abroad plans. Lily ran over to greet Mrs. Liam. Mrs. Liam smiled gently, but when Lily turned away, she patted Evelyn's hand and said, "I heard you have 2 daughters, my dear. What about the other one? Has she been spoiled rotten, or is she still well-behaved and respectful?" When she stepped in front of me, I could even smell the fertilizer still lingering on Lily's clothes. Lily completely lost it. She rushed into the room, grabbed me by the neck with both hands, screaming, "Die, die." I struggled with all my might, grabbed a decorative item from the table, and struck her head forcefully. In the end, we both died at 18. But then we reincarnated together, returning to that fork in our destiny. This time, Lily, without hesitation, chose Evelyn. She told me, "This time it's your turn to be ruined. Go live with that rich old lady. Your life is over. Just settle for being a small-town girl." Living with Grandma Tao was indeed a bit tough. My father always said kind words but never sent her a single penny for her old age. In the previous life, after Lily went with Grandma Tao, he also didn't send child support, only bringing her home during summer and winter breaks, conveniently stopping by to see me and put on a show of deep father-daughter affection. After all, even when Mom was alive, Dad never treated her well. Judging by Evelyn's pregnancy timeline, it was clear that Dad and Evelyn had been secretly involved long before Mom passed away. Grandma Tao prepared a room just for me. Besides the essential items, there was only a wooden desk with neatly arranged paper and pens. She led me to the flower garden. The summer air was hot and humid, with a faint smell of fertilizer in the wind. As she fertilized, she said, "You've chosen this path. There's no turning back now." She thought I, having lived a life of luxury in the Mock household for so long, wouldn't be able to endure such a life. In the previous life, Lily couldn't stand it either. After a short time, she called Dad, begging to come home, but Dad refused. Because in her mind, Grandma Tao's family should have been 100 times richer than the Mock family, able to help her climb into the upper echelons or at least maintain her luxurious lifestyle from childhood. I took the tools and worked alongside Grandma Tao. "Grandma, I don't regret it, I like this life. It's more vibrant." Grandma Tao stared at me for a long time, then murmured, "You're nothing like your mother." What was Mom like when she was young? I eagerly wanted to know, but her face suddenly turned cold. She didn't answer, only saying, "If you follow me, you must obey me. I am very strict and have a bad temper. Go rest for now." That night, wrapped in a blanket faintly smelling of sunshine, I fell into a deep sleep. My desk was piled high with books. Looking at the mountain of books, I only felt a headache. Although I had lived 2 lives, I had almost never seriously studied basic subjects. Reading and practicing calligraphy were far less interesting than socializing. Public school couldn't compare to having a private tutor. I could only rely on myself, diligently self-study, and grit my teeth to cram knowledge. But I couldn't write fast enough. Grandma Tao didn't sleep either. She sat beside me. Every time I was about to collapse, she would rap sharply on the table. I'd jolt awake, instinctively apologizing. "Sorry, I made a mistake. I'll correct it immediately." My body reacted faster than my brain. Grandma Tao looked at me in surprise and asked, "What's wrong? I've never hit you before. Were you often hit?" I honestly nodded. "Yes." Grandma Tao sighed deeply. "How about we finish early today?" I shook my head. "If I rest every day, I'll never catch up to others. My handwriting will never be beautiful. I don't believe I can't do it." Grandma Tao gently stroked my head and said softly, "All right, I'll go make you some late-night snack." I could clearly feel that Grandma Tao loved me. Even though I was a poor student, she patiently explained each lesson to me. The clothes I wore weren't branded, but Grandma Tao would ask the neighborhood tailor to make clothes and shoes for me so they always fit comfortably. She rarely expressed it, but I knew she loved me. She still hoped Dad would visit me, but having lived 2 lives, I no longer held any expectations for fatherly love. I didn't want him to come here just to take a few photos to paint a good image for himself, because every time he saw me, his eyes only held disgust and awkwardness. Suddenly, music blared from the gate. My body tensed by reflex, my toes unconsciously rising. Grandma Tao gently patted my hand, signaling me to relax. I stepped out with her and saw Lily dancing in the sunlight, proud as a swan. When she finished her dance, her eyes were filled with arrogance and disdain. Not far away, Evelyn, with her bulging belly, walked over, dressed in matching outfits with Lily intimately linking arms with her. She said to Dad, "Look, dear, this is the dance I performed the day we met at the theater. Isn't it beautiful?" After saying that, she pretended to be startled to see us. "Oh, hello, Grandma. Hello, Anna. I didn't see you here," she pouted, hugging Dad theatrically. "Oh, darling, my belly is so big now, isn't it? Not as pretty as before, but look how well I've raised our daughter." Lily tugged on Dad's sleeve, pouting, "Dad, let's go home." "Mom says you're her patron saint, a talent scout, especially for 1,000-mile horses, excellent talents. Dad, can you also guide me a bit?" Listening, I just wanted to laugh. A lecherous man, a money-hungry woman, such excellent actors. It wasn't enough to perform at home, they even came all the way here to set up a stage and put on a show. Lily and Evelyn flanked Dad. Dad nodded faintly. Yes, Anna, listen to Grandma, okay? I'll go first then." Before leaving, Lily suddenly said, "Anna, walk me for a bit, I want to talk to you." I guessed what she wanted. Sure enough, when we were alone, she flashed a sinister smile. "You must have read that diary, right, Anna? You know what? It's all fake. Grandma Tao is just a penniless old village woman." She laughed at my distress, continuing to taunt, "Oh, right, have you received your invitation to the high society ball yet?" "Oh, I forgot, living in this backwater, you must have been excluded from the aristocratic circle, haven't you? If you kneel and beg me, perhaps I'll consider bringing you along." Saying this, she deliberately jingled her wrist, showing off an expensive bracelet, waiting for me to get angry, regretful, or heartbroken. But I felt nothing. I just asked her one question, "Is it hard to maintain your weight?" Lily's face instantly changed. "What did you say?" "I don't understand, you country bumpkin." With that, she hurriedly got into the car, almost fleeing. I calmly returned home. Grandma Tao awkwardly handed me a slice of cake. "It's your birthday today, have some cake." She hesitated, then added, "I don't know how you celebrated your birthdays at the Mock family." I froze. In truth, I hadn't had a proper birthday in a very long time. The sweet taste of the cream melted in my mouth, stimulating every taste bud. In the world of dance, physique was the most important factor. Evelyn was even stricter than professional coaches. She personally monitored me, supervising my weight daily. Her punishments were varied, standing with my face to the wall, being whipped, all cruel methods, but leaving no visible marks. Puberty should have been the time of greatest physical development, yet every night I was so hungry I couldn't sleep. I would secretly get up to search the refrigerator. If caught, I would be forced to vomit everything out. Gradually, my stomach developed a conditioned reflex. If I ate beyond a certain limit, I would immediately vomit. Evelyn deliberately bought me dresses smaller than my actual size. Even if they didn't fit, I was forced to wear them. Even if I had to starve myself until I was gaunt, even if I didn't fit, I had to squeeze myself into those tiny dresses, even with just a thin layer of fat. I once complained to Dad, but he merely said coldly, "Your stepmother does that for your own good." Her strictness wasn't like training a dancer, it was like polishing a luxury commodity. It was then that I understood. Dad and Evelyn didn't need a daughter, they only needed a beautiful ornament, a perfect doll to show off. After my younger brother was born, Evelyn completely stopped concealing her true nature. No matter what, she would use my brother as an excuse. "For your brother, can't you try a little harder?" Dad also agreed. Your brother is the future of the Mock family. You must be excellent so he won't have any worries later. But Dad was inherently a philanderer, with countless lovers outside. My brother was young, and Evelyn feared that Dad would be stolen away by another woman. She discovered that if I won an award, Dad would be willing to come home and look at me once. Thus, my life became increasingly suffocating. I was forced to study anything I could, take any exam, and achieve any award, no matter how difficult. But my body could no longer endure it. Eat quickly, why are you standing there staring? Grandma Tao's voice pulled me back to reality. I looked down at my hands. Compared to my previous life, I was a little taller, and due to constant labor, there was a light layer of muscle on my arms and legs, making me feel very sturdy. Grandma Tao took out a wooden rosary and placed it on my hand. May you be safe. Every year, besides my mother, Grandma Tao was the second person to wish me safety. I bit my lip, hesitated for a moment, then said, Grandma, my physics is really bad. Can you find me a tutor? I bowed my head, a little ashamed. Our family wasn't well off, yet I was making such a request, but I truly couldn't keep up with physics. Grandma Tao was surprised. Physics? Go see Mr. Davies across the street. He's very good at it. He's the old man who fishes all day, feeds birds, and treats his dog like his own grandchild. Yes, that's him. Tomorrow, I'll put in a good word for you. After school, go see him. I realized our family's financial situation was truly not good. We didn't even have money for extra tutoring. I decided that after entering university, I would study and work at the same time. It must be said, Mr. Davies was an exceptionally talented physics teacher. After a year of tutoring, I finally caught up. In this end-of-term test, I passed physics for the first time in my life. After school, I ran all the way home with my test paper, yelling, Grandma, I passed, I passed. But when I arrived home, I saw the Mock family's car parked right outside. Dad frowned at me, his voice full of displeasure. Look at you, running around like a madwoman. What kind of behavior is that? What's so proud about passing? Your sister just won a dance award. Grandma Tao pulled me behind her, calmly saying, She is under my care now. If you have anything to say it to me. Evelyn immediately chimed in, feigning a sweet smile. Oh no, it's nothing. It's just that because Lily won an award, the TV station wants to interview her. It happens to be summer break, so I thought, why not bring Anna home for a while so you can also have some peace and quiet? Grandma Tao said nothing, just waited for my decision. I thought that with one less mouth to feed, perhaps our family would be less struggling. So I bowed to Grandma Tao and followed Dad back to the Mock family home. By the time I arrived, it was already dark. Lily wasn't home yet, but only 3 place settings were laid on the dining table. Evelyn feigned concern. Girls shouldn't eat too much at night. You'll get fat and won't be beautiful anymore. I ignored her, pulled up a chair, and ate, offering no reply, no argument. Seeing that I wasn't provoked, Evelyn immediately changed tactics and began to tear up. Oh, dear, look at her, my love. I'm just worried about her, but Grandma Tao has spoiled her rot. She doesn't even have basic manners, not knowing how to answer elders. Dad was about to lose his temper. I slowly chewed and swallowed, then calmly said, Children easily get bloated if they eat dinner, so my brother shouldn't eat either. The TV station is coming to interview. Dad wouldn't want me on air saying the Mock family doesn't give me enough to eat, would he? Evelyn was instantly silenced, like a chicken with its neck wrung. After eating, I returned to the guest room but couldn't sleep no matter what I did. My whole body was itchy. I scratched until my skin was red in streaks. The next morning, Evelyn saw it and gasped, What happened? Before I could answer, Lily cut in. Mom, don't ask her. First, check our bed sheets. I'm just worried her skin is too rough, it might tear the sheets. I looked at her coldly. At Grandma Tao's house, I slept perfectly well, there was never anything like this. How is it that after just one night here, it's like this? I was too lazy to argue with them, silently returning to my room to continue practicing calligraphy. Today, the TV station was here to prepare for tomorrow's interview. I had experienced this countless times in my previous life. First, they would set up the background, rearrange the space, and position the cameras to make everyone look their best. Then, they would prearrange the questions to ensure no unexpected situations occurred. While touring Lily's award display area, the person in charge admired, The Mock family's second daughter is truly a dance prodigy, the pride of the dance world. My parents smiled proudly, but I just glanced and noticed that one button was missing, the spring wind button. The most valuable award was absent. Combining this with memories from my previous life, along with the faint cries emanating from the basement every night after I returned, sometimes accompanied by the whizzing sound of a whip, I could easily guess how miserable Lily's life had become after losing her former glory. While I was still thinking, the director suddenly opened my door. Evelyn couldn't stop him. Her words were cut short mid-sentence. Anna usually lives with Grandma Tao. We don't interfere much. What she's like, you can see for yourselves. I understood her intention, to use this interview to clearly demarcate the boundary between me and the Mock family. Lily, by their side, shone brilliantly, while I with Grandma Tao became provincial and backward. From now on, anyone who saw her would have to praise her as the Mock family's well-raised daughter. But just then, the director stepped in and saw my calligraphy on the desk. He couldn't help but exclaim, "Beautiful writing, simply beautiful. Look at the balanced composition, the decisive and continuous strokes. It has the style of Old Master Wei. Old Master Wei, he retired a long time ago, yet people still say that one's character can be seen from their handwriting." The Mock family's eldest daughter is truly a genuine young lady of a noble house. I silently questioned in my mind, was this director overpraising to curry favor with the Mock family? But regardless, my calligraphy was indeed something Grandma Tao had patiently trained me in, stroke by stroke. As for Old Master Wei, I had never heard of him. Dad reacted the fastest, immediately pulling me closer and laughing loudly. "Yes, exactly. My daughter is naturally quiet and doesn't like to talk much." Unexpectedly, the focus of the day gradually shifted towards me. They began to ask what awards I had won, who taught me calligraphy. I answered vaguely, not wanting to steal Lily's spotlight. But precisely because of these praises, Lily's eyes glared at me as if she wanted to devour me whole. The next day, the official interview took place. Suddenly, a scream echoed. "Mom, the pink diamond you bought me in Wales, it's gone." Lily, wearing a princess dress, her eyes shimmering with tears, cried, "Mom, I'm sorry, I lost your 15th birthday gift." The director exclaimed in surprise. So the mysterious buyer of that pink diamond was Mrs. Mock. Truly, she dotes on her daughter. Evelyn feigned distress. "I just wanted to give my daughter a unique gift, but now." She quietly glanced, signaling my younger brother. The boy stammered, pointing at me. "Sister, big sister went into sister's room." Outwardly, he said nothing explicit, but everyone understood his meaning. I had taken the diamond. Dad's face immediately hardened, furious. As his beloved daughter in the previous life, I clearly understood the reason for his anger. Not because I stole something, but because this incident was exposed on camera, disgracing him. I hadn't gone into Lily's room to steal anything. I went because Lily said there were photos of Mom in her room and I could go look for them myself. I didn't take it, so I wouldn't admit to it. In Dad's mind, the best solution now was for me to admit that I, out of jealousy towards Lily, secretly stole the diamond. Then, the whole family would magnanimously forgive me and finally perform a warm reunion scene for the cameras. But I was no longer the me of my previous life. I no longer cared for his affection. I gritted my teeth, resolutely refusing to confess. Dad grew even angrier. Evelyn pretended to mediate but was actually adding fuel to the fire. Lily cooperated perfectly, feigning weakness and pitifulness. The final result, I was locked in the basement, to be released only when I admitted my mistake. A trainee accompanying the film crew couldn't help but whisper, "The Mock family's eldest daughter is wearing a boxwood bracelet. That kind of wood isn't cheaper than a diamond. How could she steal?" Lily, fearing the truth would be exposed, shrieked, "Damn it, who knows where that old woman bought it? That cheap bracelet, does she want to use it to tarnish my diamond? Don't even dream about it." I was pushed into the basement. Before the door slammed shut, I only thought, it's over. I promised Grandma Tao I'd be home today. She must be so worried. Locked in the basement, I wasn't scared because in my previous life I was a frequent guest here. Didn't meet dance requirements? Locked up. Didn't socialize with the ladies at the banquet? Locked up. No boys asked me out? Locked up. But what I didn't expect was that this time, I wasn't just confined but completely starved with my stepmother and father's tacit approval. For 2 whole days, no one brought me a drop of water or a grain of rice. Just through a wall, I could hear their joyful laughter, celebrating the successful interview. 2 days later, I felt like I was dying of thirst. If I was hungry, I could scrape the walls, chew plaster, bite my nails to get by, but I couldn't create drinking water. As I was almost falling into a coma, the basement door suddenly swung open. A person stood there backlit, their imposing presence making it impossible for me to see their face clearly. In my delirium, I even thought, isn't Grandma Tao just a village old lady? Why does she radiate such a terrifying aura standing here? The next time I woke up, I was in a lavish, magnificent room, adorned with exquisite luxury, far surpassing the mock family home. I pinched my arm. Was it a dream, or had I transmigrated again? "Young miss, you're awake?" A voice beside me startled me. I quickly looked up and saw my school bag. Thankfully, I was still in this world. All afternoon, I still couldn't believe everything. "I'm the young miss. Where is my grandma Tao?" So many questions filled my heart. This had never happened in my previous life. A servant stepped forward, bowing, and said, "Madam instructed that when you woke, you should come to the study." I quietly walked to the study, not daring to make a sound. Seeing Grandma Tao, I almost didn't recognize her. She wore a meticulously embroidered black kippah with a radiant jade hairpin in her hair. No need for more words, just looking at this attire was enough to prove that what was written in Mom's diary was true. Grandma Tao looked at me once, her voice calm. "Awake, then come with me." She didn't answer any of my questions, but immediately called for an escort to take me straight to the mock family home. Standing at the gate, Grandma Tao coldly ordered the bodyguards to block the entrance. "Today, we need to settle accounts." Dad's face darkened and he growled, "How dare you barge into someone else's private residence? Are all the guards dead?" Evelyn also dropped her pretense of gentleness and immediately shouted, "Guards, seize her." Grandma Tao smiled calmly. "I just want to talk about the diamond." Then she turned to me. "Anna, did you take their jewelry?" I shook my head. "No, they're slandering me." As soon as I finished speaking, Lily flinched slightly but still insisted. "No, it's not no. That diamond is worth 3 million. You people couldn't earn that much money in a lifetime." Grandma Tao laughed coldly. 3 million? You didn't even know if your sister took it, yet you locked her in the basement and starved her for 2 days. She took slow steps, closing in on Lily. Lily still stubbornly argued, "I only locked her up for 2 days for the mock family's honor. What's wrong with that?" Evelyn also put on a show of being a magnanimous adult. "Children who don't take care of their belongings need to be disciplined. Are you going to indulge her forever?" Grandma Tao smiled, her voice still calm but sending chills down one's spine. "Is that so? I heard your son hit a classmate in kindergarten 2 days ago. How about I discipline him a little on your behalf?" As soon as she finished speaking, I was pulled behind her. Evelyn shrieked in panic, "Who dares to touch my son? I'll fight them to the death." After saying that, she turned to Dad and pretended to faint. Dad immediately flew into a rage, roaring, "Anna, how dare you defy me?" He raised his hand, intending to slap me, but Grandma Tao's bodyguards quickly blocked him. Grandma Tao looked at Lily's face, a face too similar to my mother's. Her voice softened slightly. "After all, you are my granddaughter. Take this rosary as my compensation." But Lily flung her hand, making the rosary fall to the ground and shatter. The fragments flew up, cutting Lily's hand and making it bleed. She gritted her teeth, her eyes full of resentment. "I don't need this trash. I only want my diamond. I wish you'd die sooner. Country bumpkin, don't give birth to children near you. You're devaluing me. I'm a mock. Who'd want to be your granddaughter?" Grandma Tao's smile faded, her voice turning cold. "Then we'll have to involve the police." Dad suddenly yelled, "Anna, apologize to her mother and her now?" He tried to salvage some last shred of dignity, wanting to regain his authority. But today, in the mock family home, he was completely overwhelmed. I ignored him, taking Grandma Tao's hand, intending to leave. Dad trembled with rage. "Today, if you step out that door, you are no longer a mock." At this moment, Evelyn also woke up. A triumphant smile barely concealed on her face, because without me, she and her son would inherit more assets. Grandma Tao gently said, "From today onwards, Anna is a member of the Tao family. She has nothing to do with your family anymore." Stepping out of the gate, Grandma Tao led me straight to the police station. It was then that I realized this world was truly absurd. For example, right now I was sitting in the police chief's office, watching him politely serve tea to Grandma Tao. "Yes, yes, madam, we will definitely investigate the mock family's diamond theft. Why did you have to come in person? Just say the word and we'll handle everything automatically." By the time we left, it was already late. Grandma Tao closed her eyes, resting in the car. I gradually calmed down. She suddenly said, "Ask what you want. I'll give you half an hour." I looked at the woman in front of me. "I want to hear about Mom." Grandma Tao paused slightly, as if she had aged several years in an instant. After a long while, she gently began, "Your mother was my only daughter, but she was too stubborn. It's nothing new, a young lady from a prestigious family falling in love with a philanderer with some wealth. I disagreed, but she broke ties with me for love. In that marriage, she was not happy, but she didn't want to humble herself before me. Only when she was near death did she truly see the man beside her for what he was. Her story stopped, leaving only the sound of wind blowing through the car window. Before Mom passed away, she finally contacted Grandma Tao, fearing that we would suffer if we stayed with Dad. She begged Grandma Tao to take good care of us. That night, the cold moonlight enveloped the house. Grandma Tao sat alone for a very long time. That night, I dreamed of Mom. I wanted to ask her if she had any regrets, but she only smiled at me. The next day, Grandma Tao handed me an invitation. "It's time you started socializing." At the party, I saw Lily. She was terrifyingly thin, her skin pale, the rosy color on her face merely thick makeup. With just a glance, I knew her life wasn't good, and I also knew what task Evelyn had given her today. We were sisters by the same mother. Even without affection, I didn't want to see her make the same mistakes. So I gave her one last piece of advice. "Don't dance tonight." Lily gritted her teeth in resentment. "Why can you shine and become the Mock family's jewel and I can't? Why can you be here, yet I don't even have a decent gown?" She jutted her chin, ordering the guards to remove me. I shook my head. Lily truly had no common sense. After the last incident, she should have understood that Grandma Tao was not as simple as she thought. I wondered what kind of intoxicating potion Evelyn had given her, making her willing to have her ribs removed just to fit into that world-famous size 0 black dress. I slowly said, "Let's see who dares to remove my esteemed guest." Just then, someone quietly whispered in my ear, "Miss Anna, my grandfather told me to take care of you." It was Liam, the man Lily had longed for and also my boyfriend in this life. I teased him. "Grandpa Liam's grandson isn't a fat dog, is he?" Liam raised an eyebrow at me, then turned to the butler. "Please escort this young lady out. She's bothering my girlfriend." At this moment, someone spoke up. "Young Master Liam, please give me some face. Lily is my invited guest." It was young Master Leo who stood in front of Lily, his eyes fixed on me with disgust. Liam said coldly, "She is great-grandpa's adopted granddaughter." Hearing this, young Master Leo immediately retracted his lustful gaze and politely extended his hand. "It's an honor to meet you, young lady." Not wanting anything to do with Lily's man, I immediately took Liam's arm and left, but Lily remained standing there, her eyes following Liam, full of ambition. I faintly heard young Master Leo warn her, "I told you you're my dance partner tonight. Behave yourself, don't cause trouble." I stood in a corner, watching Lily step onto the dance floor. Under the stage lights, she twirled, lifted her leg, dancing gracefully. Her waist was so tiny that one hand could grasp it. Her body possessed a fragile, almost cruel beauty. Finishing her dance, she bowed slightly, revealing her pale neck, carrying the seductive, instinctive allure of a young woman. Led by the Liu family, all the gentlemen present applauded. Lily waited for someone to step forward and invite her to a second dance, a duet, but no one approached. Everyone just stood there applauding. They looked at her with an inexplicable gaze, not the gaze for a swan, but for an item on display. If Lily had been a little more sober, she would have noticed that the prestigious young ladies at the party were all looking at her with pity. But she didn't realize it. She was still immersed in her dream of becoming the city's most distinguished young lady. I had warned her, but she insisted on rushing headlong into death. I would no longer stop her. The next morning, on Weibo, the name of the Mock family's second daughter immediately climbed to the top of the trending topics. The comments were all empty praises, without an ounce of sincerity. Evelyn was still using the same old tricks, with no creativity whatsoever. But there was one difference. Photos of Lily and young Master Leo dancing a duet were uploaded online. Before long, those photos gradually started to be taken down. Mom had left some belongings at the Mock family home. Lily told me to come collect them. When I arrived, she blocked me in the room, her eyes full of doubt. "Why do I do exactly what you do, but I don't get a life like yours? In the previous life, Liam didn't study abroad with you, nor did he plan to marry you." She screamed. "Did you sleep with Liam? Did that old woman help you seduce him?" She looked almost insane. Slap, I slapped her hard. "This slap was for Mom, to teach you a lesson, Lily. You dared to insult Grandma Tao in front of Mom. You deserve to be hit." Lily tried to resist, but I immediately wrestled her to the ground. I grew up in the countryside, working with Grandma Tao every day. She, however, was malnourished and weak. How could she be my match? She struggled like a madwoman, trying to bite me. But Dad, hearing the commotion, rushed into the room and slapped her across the face again. Dad was furious, his every breath heavy as if he wanted to devour Lily whole. "Idiot. Who allowed you to brazenly appear with young Master Leo and get photographed, huh?" Lily was stunned by the beating, completely bewildered as to why she was being treated this way. I just stood with my arms crossed, leaning against the corner of the wall, watching the drama unfold. She didn't understand why, despite shining brightly at the party, she was still being beaten by Dad. But I understood. The so-called mock family's jewel was inherently just a trap, a sugar-coated candy. The more exquisitely it was wrapped, the more eagerly people craved it, and the final outcome was simply to be swallowed whole. The staged, accidental encounters on the street, the flowery interviews on television, all of it was just to pave the way for yesterday's trending topic. As long as Lily's news exploded, the mock family would sit firmly on their throne, continuing to sell the luxury commodity they had painstakingly cultivated. But their potential customers weren't many, which is why they used trending topics to attract attention and polish Lily's image. Young Master Leo was decent, but to Dad, an extremely arrogant man, he was not worthy. Young Master Leo was just a backup plan. Keeping him around was fine, but getting photographed was not. Being photographed meant she was taken, meaning her value decreased. So Lily was locked in the basement. The tables had turned. I finished collecting Mom's belongings and immediately returned to the small town. Grandma Tao carefully stroked each old photo, her eyes filled with sorrow. No matter how strong she was still just a mother who had lost her daughter. I will stay by her side, honoring Mom. As for Lily, she continued to live in the mock family home. At least she had avoided another one of the mock family's traps, but they were even more cruel than I imagined. However brutally they treated me in my previous life, they were now treating Lily 100-fold more cruelly in this life. One day, I took Grandma Tao for a medical checkup. By chance, I saw Evelyn assisting Lily out of the obstetrics and gynecology operating room. Lily's face was as white as paper. Two young nurses beside them whispered, "That girl is really beautiful, but her uterine lining is as thin as paper. That's truly cruel." Immediately after, I heard a very familiar voice behind me. "Seeing me so miserable, are you gloating, Anna?" I turned around to see Lily standing there, her eyes vacant. Why did I listen to Evelyn, but Liam still didn't come looking for me? Didn't you do the same thing? What's wrong with me compared to you? She laughed like a mad woman, her eyes fierce. In your previous life, you were like this too, weren't you? Did you sleep with Liam, which is why he didn't come looking for me? Did that old hag help you arrange everything? I suddenly had a horrible thought. Had Evelyn sent her to a red house? Brothel? Lily didn't answer. She just wildly clawed at her hair, biting her nails until they bled. Why? Why didn't Liam come for me? I looked at her, my eyes calm. Because he likes me, it had nothing to do with that ball. The truth about Liam and me. In the previous life, Evelyn raised me as a beautiful doll, but I once had a mother. I knew that true love wasn't like that. I agreed to become a sycophant, immediately serving young masters and ladies, just to secretly piece together fragmented stories at parties to uncover the truth. I knew that as soon as I stepped onto the stage, I would inevitably become the center of attention at the party, and then I would become a commodity, awaiting the day of my marriage. Evelyn used both soft and coercive methods, but I didn't fall into her trap. Even when I was locked in the basement for 3 days, I endured it. It was only when she said, "If you don't go, I'll send your sister. You know, some people really like twin sisters." That was the fatal blow that crushed me. Evelyn finally revealed her true colors. Before the party, I already had some reputation in high society. Evelyn covertly encouraged me to approach various men but still set a boundary. I must not lose my virginity. Only by preserving my purity would I retain my value. I met Liam much earlier than that party. He always thought I was a venomous snake, so he kept his distance from me. But then we met by the sea. I sought death, while he stood there silently looking at the ocean. We fell in love that very night. We hugged, kissed, shared our deepest secrets, and watched the sunrise together the next morning. He promised to marry me. There was no other way. I was a madwoman driven to the brink, and he was a genuine madman. Upon returning, he declared to his family, "Before I met her, I liked men." Liam's mother, hearing the news, immediately went to the mock family home, demanding that I marry Liam at once. After everything was settled, Liam hugged me, smiling contentedly. "See how capable I am? As soon as I reached legal age, I married you. But we died together at 18 before we could even reach that age." Later, Liam also committed suicide. He cut his wrists, saying he had no reason to live anymore. I once asked him, "What exactly do you like about me?" He smirked, "You are the wind. The feeling came the first moment I saw you. No reason needed." This is all I recall after Liam brought me home. Liam had also reincarnated, so his feelings for me had nothing to do with that ball. Everything Lily yearned to achieve was, in fact, the shackles that bound me in my previous life. Every night, I used to have nightmares, fearing that when I woke up, I would be locked in a red house, becoming a free money-making tool for the Mock family. Lily scorned my life, but for me, it was a godsend. Regardless, I still have to thank her. At the very least, she helped me return to Grandma Tao's side, so I wouldn't have to reunite with Liam in such a contemptible status. Thanks to her, I also had the chance to care for Grandma Tao on Mom's behalf. Lily glared at me with resentment, as if she wanted to devour me whole. Through gritted teeth, she hissed, "I won't lose." Finally, Lily did marry the richest man in El City, but the tycoon was 40 years old and had 2 stepchildren nearly her age. Ironically, she used to despise her stepmother, and now she had become a stepmother herself. Today, she was dressed magnificently, linking arms with her husband, and even brought a group of reporters to the small town. Her purpose was to compensate for the rosary she had once shattered. Before setting out, she had bribed the media, spreading news that a country bumpkin farmer had used fake goods to deceive the tycoon's wife. She adamantly believed that everything I had was thanks to Liam's help. She wanted to expose my poverty to the light, leaving me no room to deny it. She wanted to prove that her choice was correct. But she wasn't entirely to blame, because in her previous life, she truly knew nothing about Grandma Tao's real identity. When Lily's entourage arrived, Grandma Tao wasn't home, only I was there. "Anna, open the door, I've come to visit you and Grandma. Even if you don't want to see me, at least let me see Grandma." She deliberately feigned sorrow. "I deeply regret breaking Grandma's rosary. I've come to compensate. If Grandma is willing to forgive me, I'm ready to pay 10 times its value." With that, she shed tears, even the angle of her tears meticulously calculated. I chuckled faintly. 10 times? A rosary worth 10 million yuan? So that's 100 million. Do you want to pay in cash or by check? Lily's face stiffened, her forced smile almost faltering. "Anna, we truly came to visit Grandma. Anna, don't joke around. Even if our family is wealthy, we can't be tricked out of such a large sum for a cheap glass rosary." I shook my head. "You won't cry until you see the coffin, will you? I've specifically invited President Huang Liang of the Cultural Relics Association here to appraise it. Would I let you suffer a loss?" Hearing the name Huang Liang, a famous expert in ancient artifacts, Lily's people began to waver. But before they could react, Mr. Huang intently looked at my wrist, his voice full of excitement. "Young lady, may I see your rosary?" I said nothing, took off the bracelet, and casually tossed it to him. The rosary drew a perfect arc in the air, landing directly in Mr. Huang's trembling palm. "Come back here, right now, cameraman, close up." Mr. Huang trembled. "This is real, no, not just real. Its value definitely exceeds 100 million. Mr. Huang's voice was so agitated it broke. "Miss Mock, may we come in and examine the house?" Mr. Huang looked at me with deep respect. I gave a gentle smile. "Of course you may, but please call me Miss Tao." Lily's eyes widened in horror. "Miss Tao?" I raised a finger, signaling silence, when the country bumpkin was actually a distinguished noble family. Expert Huang Liang walked around the house, constantly in a daze. This is agarwood. It's been said since ancient times, 1 foot of agarwood, 100 pounds of gold. Yet you use it as a bed mat." I smiled and nodded. "Such a large piece of Huangshi crazy rock used to prop up a table leg," I casually replied. "The table was a bit wobbly, so I used it to prop it up." Huang Liang's eyes widened, his mouth agape, speechless for a long time. Then he continued deeper inside. This is a genuine painting by Tang Bohu. You hung it in the window just to block the sun?" I nodded. "The sun was too glaring, so I took it out to cover the window temporarily." Huang Liang was now completely dumbfounded, and Lily's face grew paler and paler. She stood there, listless, her eyes vacant, murmuring, "How can this be? It's all just trash." Her tycoon husband also began to feel embarrassed. Without a word, he pulled Lily's hand and immediately left. Huang Liang briskly walked into the backyard garden. As soon as he saw the flower field, he almost lost control. "What is this? I ask you, what is this?" The cameraman was about to approach for a close-up when Mr. Huang loudly yelled, "Don't touch it." Mr. Huang carefully placed his left foot down first, as if one wrong step would instantly rob this flower field of its life. Seeing his demeanor, as if facing an enemy, I was speechless. "It's just flowers and plants. Do you need to be so careful?" I casually picked up a watering can and watered a little. Huang Liang's mouth hung open, his face pale. "This This is night blooming Sirius, Tuk Quan Ha Din, and over there is Guizhou Dragon Yuan, Kui Chao Long Nuyen. This field might be worth more than our city's GDP. I immediately felt the watering can in my hand become as heavy as 1,000 pounds. Fortunately, Grandma Tao appeared just in time to cut off Mr. Huang's panic. She simply said calmly, "No need to mention this matter anymore." Huang Liang immediately fell silent. But this time, Lily truly went mad. Lily committed a tragic crime that shook the entire city. She single-handedly murdered her biological father, stepmother, and half-brother. 3 members of the Mock family died in one night. Surveillance camera footage showed a fierce argument taking place before the incident. She hated Evelyn for tormenting her for years, all for a single dance. She hated Dad for pushing her into a red house, turning her into a money-making tool for the Mock family. The pride she once boasted about ultimately became nothing more than a commodity, bought and sold. The peak of her resentment was when she returned, demanding a share of the family's assets but was refused. Evelyn even mocked her. "Look at your sister. She knows how to climb into a prestigious family. You're just useless, and now you come back demanding money? This money belongs to your brother, it has nothing to do with you." Her brother also mimicked, "Useless, it all belongs to me." According to police investigations, the crime scene was extremely gruesome. After being arrested, Lily requested to see me one last time. Her only question was, who exactly is Grandma Tao? Even at the very end, she couldn't understand. I looked at her with only pity. Grandma Tao is the head of the Tao family, one of the most distinguished clans. In your previous life, if you had endured hardship, studied diligently, and returned home, the position of heir would have been yours. This small town, everything here, is Grandma Tao's property. Those seemingly ordinary old folks you once scorned are actually prominent figures in high society. The clothes you once scoffed at are actually exclusive handmade designer items. And the woman you saw sewing all day is the sole inheritor of an ancient intangible embroidery lineage. The scent you once called fertilizer is, in fact, Chenchui Xiang agarwood incense, an invaluable treasure. You know what? Western luxury goods can be bought with money, but Chinese luxury goods can't be bought even with money. All these things were tests for the heir. It's just a pity you missed out. There is nothing more cruel than crushing a person's hope. After hearing this, Lily completely collapsed. A few days later, the detention center reported that she had committed suicide. She had used a toothbrush to stab herself directly in the throat. In detention centers, to prevent suicides, all items are designed without sharp edges. One can only imagine how much strength she had to exert to commit suicide in that manner. When Grandma Tao heard the news, she merely said calmly, "This is the path she chose herself. No one else can be blamed." I always knew I wasn't an entirely benevolent person. I didn't wish for Grandma Tao to grieve over Lily's death. I only wanted Grandma Tao to be my own Grandma Tao. The sky is vast and clear, a gentle breeze rustles through the trees. The people I love and those who love me are all by my side. I am very content with this life. From now on, the vast sea and high skies, I will fly freely.